Hello Linux fans, Rob here and welcome to Linux Quest. Well, I am long overdue for this video. It is a community poll question and this has actually been running for 4 weeks. My apologies for not getting to this sooner. But the question was, are you in favor of KDE releasing some of their apps to the Microsoft Store? And we're going to go through this in a minute and read your comments, but I want to pop over here to the Microsoft Store online. And if you just simply do a search for KDE, you'll find 4 results showing here with Ocular, Kate, FileLight, and KStars. Never used KStars, but FileLight, Kate, and Ocular are all high-quality apps, and you'll actually see a pretty good rating here. 45 for Ocular, Kate with 32, and FileLight with 5, but 5-star ratings here. So I believe that like Amarok and a few others are there, and I popped over here just to kind of double check and found out that it's not listed, but these are installers for Windows, and you've got Digicam, again Kate, KDevelop, Kexi, KMyMoney, Krita, Marble, Umbrello, and RK-Ward. I'm not even sure what that is. I'll have to check that out later. But that's a pretty extensive list, and then as you see here, I want to say over the past maybe month and a half, 2 months, I was just reading where they continue to release. So that's the reason for the question here in the community poll. So let's take a look at the results. There were 133 votes. 33% of you voted yes, 26% with no, 38% won out with don't really care, and 4% they should release more. So let's go ahead to your comments. And Total OS Today, I'm in favor of KDE releasing their talented team to fix Windows 10 update fixes. And I got you there and totally agree. So good reply. Kenny P, I just don't trust Microsoft, and I know many of you feel that way. And I got to say, more and more people, I think, are realizing that Microsoft as a daily operating system is really nowhere near what it used to be. The releases continue to break things. It's discombobulated as an OS, in my opinion. Anyway, I digress, and we'll move on here. ThemeDeleb, I apologize if I'm not getting your tagline or name correct. From one point of view, they should focus on Linux to make it better than Windows. Absolutely agree, and I would say it's already there in most aspects. And from the other hand, it's good to make the transition from Windows to Linux easier for Windows users since they will use these programs. Totally agree there, and thought that was a great point to make. Red Phoenix, it is FOSS, baby, so good for them. And that's true. If it's free, it's open source, do with it what you will. And it seems like that idea sometimes gets a little tainted because people have their own opinions and want to say, well, why would you support that platform with our software, and make the case. And again, here I apologize if I'm not getting your name correct. Kim Hauk, definitely they should, and for people like me, they should also maintain a central hub to let us download MSI or EXEs of their apps. Right now, I'm using Falcon on Windows, so that's the browser, and that wasn't even in the lineup, but nice to know. It's nice, and I want an installer for KTorrent for Windows 10. Although I've become a huge fan of Linux nowadays, but if the animal-worshipping GNU or Free Software Foundation don't get rid of those weird satanic logos from their products, I eventually will replace GNU Linux with Windows 10 on my machines. I haven't yet found any satanic logos in Microsoft products, and I haven't either, and I'll have to keep an eye out for those as well. Dieter Christensen, I think it's a good idea. That way the Windows users can experience free quality software from Linux. Might get some Windows users to see the advantages of Linux since KDE has some fine quality apps. That might give Windows users a better understanding of what Linux has to offer. P.S. I use Linux Mint and using KDE Connect on my desktop, tablet, and smartphone, which connects all three together, and it works just great. Dieter, totally dig your response there. I think you're right on track. If more people see that Linux apps are high quality and are very useful, I think for many of those people, they'll be intrigued to see what else Linux has to offer, and might spark that opportunity for them to try Linux, and or maybe they're a developer who takes a look at a Linux app and says, wow, I just didn't realize the quality behind that, and maybe spark their interest on the development side as well, which would be good for us everyday Linux users. As far as KDE Connect, I am always amazed at what a flawless application that is, and how easy it is to set up and connect with multiple devices like you have. So it is one of those that you want to point to and say, here's an example of a well-done application in the Linux world. Shane Thomas, those developers work hard on their tools or applications. Better exposure for them ends up being a win for everyone, and I would agree with that. Earl Norris, I am selfish. I want to keep KDE to open source operating systems only. We have a lot of work to do to get more, pleased to switch away from Windows and see the light. By KDE sharing their great software, it will delay the process of moving across. But that's my 2 cents, not that it matters. Well, it does matter, Earl, and I appreciate your viewpoint, because I'm sure many people who watch this video and many people in the Linux world would agree with you. They just kind of feel like, hey, let's let Linux stay Linux and focus on getting better for the Linux community. And I'm sure your viewpoint is shared by others. And I'm just going to spell this Dhyyanals. That way I'm not going to mess up your name. I'd love to see that they bring some of their great software to Linux Mint. So KDE, well, you can use some of KDE. You can use KDE apps within Linux Mint. Some of the apps may not look at home within Linux Mint, but you can use, for example, Kdenlive or Kate or Ocular or any of those apps. So, but anyway, thank you all for replying here to the poll, and thank you for your votes. And since this one's been up for 4 weeks, I'll go ahead and we'll discontinue this one and come up with another community poll in the future. And typically, as these come out, I'll let these run for 2 weeks or so, depending on the number of votes that are in. And so keep your eyes peeled, and would love to see your replies, your responses, your thoughts within these polls. And we'll continue to do the videos to share your thoughts with anyone watching the channel. All right, that's it for now. Hope everyone has a good weekend, and we will check you later.